Arise and shine. Welcome to the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa. Today promises to be a very exciting one. We have a whole lot of insightful segments lined up for you on the show. I'll just give you a heads up of what we have today. Usually we start the Good Morning Africa show with I Can Make It. As usual, a motivational charge to keep you on the go. And then also we want to look at a very recent topic that has been on the lips of people. It has to do with the present announcement that was made by the Minister of State, Federal Minister of Youth and Development in person of Engineer Ayodele Olawande. He made the announcement of the federal government Youth House Initiative that was earlier approved to be in existence by the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We'll be looking at that. We really want to find out what exactly this Youth House Initiative can bring forth for Nigerian youth out there. We'll have a special report on that, and we have a whole lot to discuss, but for this discussion segment, I won't be doing that alone. I have a very young entrepreneur who will be joining me in the studio in person of Yakubu Mohammed Yazid. We'll be having this conversation. But before we do that, let's go on a quick break. I Can Make It is on standby. I am Yumina Bagudu. We'll be back shortly.
Good morning, everyone. I trust you slept great and you're having a wonderful morning so far. I know I am. It's just a wonderful thing to just sit in front of people, faces you may never know or see, and just know that you are actually inspiring a person. I don't take that for granted at all, yeah? Now, I'm going to start off this morning on a unique note. We've all heard the word independence, all right? And I want to buttress on the opposite of independence, which is dependence. I'm going to start off with a very tricky illustration. There's a game in Russia called the Russian roulette. And you know what happens? A person picks up a revolver, inserts a bullet into one of the chambers, and locks it in. And sometimes 3, 4, 5 people could play depending on the agreement. And because the bullet lodged in the gun is unknown, you don't know what chamber the bullet is in. A man picks up the gun, puts it to his head, and guess what? You guessed right. Pulls the trigger. And the game goes on and on and on until the bullet discharges. And the unfortunate person expires. Yep, he or she drops dead. That's a deadly game. You know why I gave that illustration? The word dependence. It could be deadly. It could still be very, very beautiful. It could be very useful. It could be very applicable. And it could be very practical. Why of all games would people choose to indulge in such? Depending on one single bullet to define their lives or their life. Depending on the metal to pass the verdict or the judgment, whether they live or they die. On the other hand, I saw an illustration and I read a story about these birds in a nest. What captured my attention was the fact that I saw bones, literally, in a nest, about 4 or 5 birds. But rather than birds, I just saw skulls, bones. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And I read of the story. These little birds obviously were waiting for their mother to go get food for them. They waited and waited and waited. Probably days passed, months passed. And with time, they kept getting weak. No nourishment, no food, no worms to eat. or whatever the mommy was going to bring to them to feed them with. And they kept depreciating. Eventually, they died. Not only did they die, they withered to the point whereby just bones left. Literally, the photographer snapped that picture, and it's on the internet right now. What happened? Dependence gone wrong. What happened to the mother that she couldn't come back? Probably she was killed. Whatever happened, the mommy did not come back to feed her children. The kids depended on their mother. We can't be quick to say she failed them because we don't know what ever happened. But they depended on a higher power. Look at the family circle. A complete family, we have the mother, the father, and the children. It's not against humanity for children to depend on mommy and daddy for food, clothing, shelter, school fees, social amenities, you name them. Let me take it a notch further. As human beings, no one is an island unto himself or herself. We're supposed to be a community. This is meant to be communal living so that every human being at some point have to depend on another person. But you know what? Dependence could get quite deadly or quite embarrassing when you overstep your boundaries. We need to rely on people at some point in our lives. Depend on them. Some of us have gone through grief. We had to depend on people at some point while going through that period, that process. Sometimes you need help. It could be words. It could be cash. It could be otherwise. But at some point you depend on people. You know why I'm talking about this? Because if we abuse dependence, it could backfire on us. But if we approach it with respect, knowing that for everything, there's a time limit, everything is time bound, then you could get the best of it. If I'm setting out to achieve a goal, and I know that there's certain people I could depend on, rely on, and I go to them for a certain period of time, and once I stand on my own 2 feet, I back out. That is beautiful. But let us all know that at some point or the other, we all need to hold each other's hands. And we all need for our hands to be held in return. It doesn't matter how high you've climbed the ladder of success. Dependence could come in different packages. Just words sometimes, just time sometimes, just food, clothes, shelter. It depends, but we all depend on one person or the other at some point in our lives. But let's not abuse dependence. Like the Russian roulette, it could get deadly. Sometimes things could go wrong. You're depending on a person, he drops dead, she drops dead. What do? So while depending on people, let us also make our time to learn how to grow our wings to a point whereby people could also depend on us. Let it not be a vicious circle. Let it be a beautiful circle of progress or progression. Okay? So dependence is not bad in itself, but let's make the best use of dependence and not abuse it. Till next time, bye.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Welcome back. That was a very interesting motivational talk there on I Can Make It. So recently, President Bola Tinubu approved the establishment of Youth House in Abuja. Now, this center is an innovative gathering place, and it is created to address the needs of young individuals from diverse cultural and social background. This announcement was made by the Minister of State, Federal Ministry of Youth Development, Engineer Ayodele Olawande. And this has been on the lips of so many people, especially the youth. They want to know what exactly this Youth House initiative will bring forth for them. As Nigerian youths, will they benefit? Is it a very good platform where they can get opportunities, network, meet people, and also grow their businesses? This is one conversation we're going to have today on the Good Morning Africa show, but we have a special report on our focus on today's show. This report is going to give you an insight of what the Youth House initiative is all about. Let's take a look at this exclusive report.
Nigeria youths play a key role in the nation's development as they make up the country's population, with 1.6 billion young people accounting for 70% of the country's population. Nigeria youths, right from time, are notable to be change agents and drivers of societal transformation. In contrast, in a developing country like Nigeria, youth interests and roles have been undermined, resulting to poverty, alienation, destabilization, and conflict among the youths. Recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved the establishment of Youth House in Abuja, the nation's capital. This announcement was made by the Minister of State, Federal Ministry of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande. He explained that the Youth House initiative by Mr. President is an innovative gathering place created to address the needs of young individuals from diverse cultural and social backgrounds. This initiative, according to the minister, is a platform for social interaction and an opportunity for youths to discover their self-identity and passions.
The further, what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done is to offer all Nigerian youth another platform for social interactions and an opportunity to find their identity and passion with the Youth House. Now in place, many Nigerian youths would have a chance to express their passionate ability. I would mention that the goals of the Youth House would be to help the youth develop important life skills such as leadership, teamwork, cooperations, and communication.
The minister also mentioned that the Youth House will not only be in the FCT, but there will also be a youth center in every state of the Federation, along with a corresponding youth greenhouse to be situated within secretariats of all the 774 local government areas.
The Youth House would not be limited to FCT alone. There would be a youth center in all the states of the Federation with a corresponding youth greenhouse in all 774 local governments in Nigeria. This strategy is to decentralize the access to the government programs by the young people to perfectly engage and put in great visions of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to deliver the country that works for all Nigeria, irrespective of where you live or where you come from. I therefore have this brief that our initiative with the Youth House in FCT, the Youth Center in all the states, and the Youth Greenhouse in all the local governments would be coordinated in partnership with all youth-related government agency and private sector driven.
Many Nigerian youths shared their views on the Youth House initiative by the Tinubu administration.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the Africa International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Now we need to discuss about the federal government Youth House Initiative. It's a very urgent issue and we need to speak about it. And I have in the studio here with me a young entrepreneur in person of Yakubu Mohammed Yazid. He's actually a barrister but into business. He's the CEO of Yaz Laundry and Cleaning Services Limited, the convener of Project Clean Abuja, and the president of the Cleaners Network. It's so good to have you today, Yakubu. You're welcome. As a Nigerian youth,
yes.
Let me start off with that. What do you understand by the Youth House?
Okay. I look at the Youth House as an initiative by the government to try to propel us, the Nigerian youth, especially in lines with some self-development, leadership, and also helping us to navigate through the hurdles that the economy might bring to us. So more of an empowerment scheme that enables us to be able to fend for ourselves. Because I think that's what more Nigerian youths are bothered about right now.
Okay, that's a good one. So you just clearly stated it, and I also have one of the pointers here, and I know that the Youth House will definitely focus on the youth, their development, possible opportunities for them, network, you know, like a gathering platform for all youth. So let's just look at one of the primary goals of this great initiative with the Youth House. Like we earlier stated, to nurture passionate skills and enhance leadership quality. So what are factors to consider towards achieving this goal as a youth?
Yes, I feel like, let me use myself personally as a case study. So a lot of us young people have various things we want to do through life, especially as we keep on evolving and finding ourselves. But I feel like one important aspect of nurturing skills and talent is mentorship. For the Youth House to be successful with the headquarters in Abuja and their centers across the state, they must involve more of successful entrepreneurs, people that have gone ahead. Because, you know, like they say, the younger people have strengths and older people have wisdom. So they must involve people that are leaders in various industries. If you're trying to nurture their skills, there must be some certain level of mentorship. Aside mentorship also, there should also be access to funds. So people can have ideas, they can have even ways to execute and apply themselves to those ideas. But one mitigating factor that a lot of us face as young entrepreneurs is also finance. So mentoring them, which is more of like a guiding process with whatever they want to do in the Youth House, and also give them access to resources. So finance, it could even be the machineries needed, it could even be access to a working force. But mentorship and finance are two important factors I feel will make, you know, the Youth House be a very, very successful initiative.
Okay, so are you saying that with the mentorship, there should be like maybe like a department should be created in that unit, so that you know, youth can also work in? It's going to be like a guidance and counseling department, you know, to lead them aright. That's a very good one. So let's look at some of the specific challenges that present Nigerian youth are facing, which we all know, you know, the fact that there are no jobs, the economy is not even helping issues, even for youths that are into business, it's not a funny one. So what do you think the government can do to improve the present day situation to favor the youths?
Okay, for me to be a bit political, I feel like to an extent, right, most Nigerian youth that are in business have not really benefited anything from government.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, is it this present day government or, subsequent, previous government?
Yes, right from the very onset.
Okay,
Right?
so
most of us
have not been
built,
carried along.
yes, most of us have built whatever we have on our own.
No.
Right? And we keep on being hit by incrementing things left and right. And we still have to fend for ourselves. So if the government now wants to do something to help us to reduce things, it's just to first of all balance the economy. Start with like the constant hike in fuel prices. If fuel keeps on increasing, how prices will always be unstable because various vendors, various people from your suppliers, even to the salaries you pay your staff. I know how many times I've reviewed salaries this year alone to just support my staff for their transportation and even for their well-being. Because if someone is not doing well, they can't even give you the type of output you need in your business. So if government wants to decide to step on board, just stabilize things for us. First of all, before we now even start talking about aid. Because we've been asking for aid for a very long time. And we've not seen the aid. And the way they share the aid is, okay, you say that you've shared 5,000 to thousands of Nigerians. Come on. We all know that 5,000 naira is not even enough to transport yourself from one location to another point now. Talk less of somebody that is running a successful business or a business that is just even starting up that intends to grow from where they are to another level. So just help us stabilize the economy first. Then we can now talk about you helping us in aid, which is more of what they're trying to do with the youth house now, which I highly commend. I just pray that it's going to be something that is successful and something that us youths to also come together as one to also build forward and see how we can make things better. So stabilize the economy, give us aid when it comes to things like resources, like machineries, things that we don't have access to easily. Break the various industries into categories. Let's not just say we want to help youth. There are people in construction, there are people in tailoring, there are people in fashion, there are people in this. Okay, itemize each of them and take each of them and find ways now that you can work on them. Me now that is doing cleaning service, for instance, what are the things that cleaners need? What is the entry level for cleaning? How many people can we even empower? Let's say, how many people can we send to go and learn this skill? How many people are out there that we can give tools for the various services that they render?
Okay, so I'm going to, pinch on your word. You made a comment. You said, or rather you stated that past administrations have not, been able to carry the youths along in terms of, giving them an enabling environment to carry out their businesses or to do what they really want to do for their own self-improvement and also creating jobs for other youths. So now this brings me to my next question. What practical strategies are there towards success? Now I'm going to use the youths now. What do you think they can do? What are those practical strategies that you have been able to put in place, or rather you've been able to tap from, to help your business in, to the level it is now? So let's hear that from you.
Okay, so practical strategies that we can use to build up, that any youth can use to build up their business. First of all, learn. A lot of us delve into business with, let's say for instance, you have 50,000 naira or 100,000 naira. Instead of starting a business with 50,000 or 100,000 naira, I'd rather you invest that 50,000 naira into learning, because it will save you so many things, so many expenses and so many mistakes that you would make. So let's say for instance, I want to start repairing cars. If I want to start repairing cars, instead of me to jump into repairing cars, the first strategy to do is to find somebody that's already been doing car repairs and learn from the person.
Okay, so that means you're trying to do like an internship?
Yes,
or
serve.
Okay,
serve. Even if it means you doing it for free, working for somebody for free, or you even find an academy for those that have capital before they enter an industry. So that's the first learning stage, so that when you enter inside the industry that you intend to delve into, you already understand the do's and don'ts, especially for the fact that you've seen it from a more practical point of view of someone that's already doing it. The next step would be for you to make sure that you have emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Yes. We do not talk about, we emphasize so much about skill. We will not talk about how you should build up your character as someone in business. I've learned that money doesn't give you money, people give you money. So you can have money, that's why you see a lot of people that will delve into business with like 40, 50 millions thereabout, and their business still crashes because they've not developed themselves, emotionally and built a certain level of character that allows them to sustain a business. You can get people to come into your business with proper marketing, but what keeps them in your business and keep on patronizing you, even your staff self, what keeps both your staff and customers in your business is how you manage them, how you manage people, the emotional intelligence you deploy while dealing with them. So we also have to work on ourselves mentally. So you start with the skill set, the know, the how to of the business. Then you now go back inwards now and work on yourself, develop yourself, and find ways that, when customers are coming in or when staff are coming in, you keep them going. The third one is finance. You must understand finance. Knowing the skill, keeping the customers keeps the business going. Money is coming in. But there are so many people, as money is coming in shawarma, that they are buying. They are buying the latest Mace this because they want to look a part. Whereas that 12 million or 15 million that you are driving on is what's supposed to propel the business to the next phase, simply because you want to prove a point. You must have financial skills. Every business person, even if you've gone to the level where you have an accountant that is employed to manage your finances, you must also understand what the accountant is doing so that you are able to checkmate the person. Very good example is my industry, cleaning industry. You can walk throughout the day now and generate 100 naira, and you don't know how that 100 naira ended up going if you don't have good financial skills, because there are so many expenses that are coming in, and there are some things that are not even as important. So finance is the next one. And the last one, the last strategy, which I always tell people, even the people that I mentor, is God. You must have a certain level of spirituality involved in anything you're doing. Be you a Muslim, be you a Christian, anything that you're doing involve God. Because sometimes it's not just by our hard work. There's grace that comes into it. There are people that have done more than you have done, that have not gained what you've gained. And there are people that do just little, and then there's grace upon them.
Oh, okay, I like that. I like the last strategy, God. That's good. So let's still, come back to our focus, which is the youth house. So now, what comes to your mind when you hear youth house? I just need you to, list out the basic, let's use the word departments, the basic departments that should be found in a youth house.
Yes, okay. When you say youth house, for me, the first thing that comes to my mind is, how the Greeks used to gather during democracy in like an open space, and everybody would just share their point of view about matters, and then you have like a panel of elders that will now decide on like what's the final verdict concerning any issue that they're dictating. That's how I look at the youth house. I look at the youth house as a platform where various people across various industries within the range of youth, the range of the youth age, that range of youth age, because you can say youth now, we see somebody in their 80s there lobbying for the opportunities that somebody in the...
We know the kind of country that we are in.
Yes. You can see somebody in his 80s telling you that he's a youth and he's trying to lobby for the same opportunities that somebody in their 30s is lobbying for. In my own definition of youth is, I think it should be from 18 to about 40 something. That's the bracket for me. Yeah. So a platform where various people across various industries are seated, deliberating on ways forward, right? So you have departments for business, you have departments for politics, because it's not just business that youth are supposed to be involved in. There's leadership, that's politics. There's business. There is even education. We can even go back to even corporate sectors. There's even law. There's finance. There's banking. Just gathering various people across various sectors that make up a nation, and everybody's just having deliberations about ways forward. Now, there should be some form of process to onboard people into this youth house. It shouldn't just be everybody that just comes in. There should be some level, there should be some criterias that, let's say for instance, if there should be a criteria for you to join a particular sect as a graduate, and they should still be open. There should be criteria that is open for people in the grassroots that are not opportuned to get education, right? So that they can function better in another department in the youth house. And then we should also have departments for those that are like the elders and the people that are going to be like the leaders of the youth house that people are benefiting from. So that way, it's like I'm climbing on this person's shoulder, this person's climbing on my shoulder. They are all, there's a beneficial interest across all borders in the youth house.
Okay. So it's a good thing that the Minister of State stated that 774 greenhouses will be located
across the local
government and also their secretariats. Yeah. So let's look at the pros and cons. It's like this, When we're excited, while we're excited about this initiative, we should also look at the negative side of this particular idea, because I know a lot of people with negative perspective would
try to also delve into it.
Exactly. So do you think that the negative impact will be more on the positive side?
I feel like the negative impact can only progress if there will definitely be negative impact, but it can only progress if there is no form of proper structure that's already envisaged that there could be this type of problems, this type of problems. In fact, let's even go straight to what are some of the negative problems you can have. You can have a youth house now in like my local government, Adabi local government in Kogi, right?
I don't know why I'm smiling about that because I already know what you want to say.
And some people in one side will tell you that this an opportunity that wants to be given to a particular clan should not be given to this set of people. It should be given to these other people. That's an example of a negative problem that you might have when you gather people. So some persons will say no. This clan in this our local government are not the guys that should be given. It should be given to these people. Or you have a situation whereby somebody will say that no, this person is a youth, but he's too much of a young youth to be given this opportunity. We should give it to an elderly youth.
Because they feel that someone in a particular age will be able to
do it better. Yes. So these are some of the negative problems you can have. So what does matters is I expect that youth house should have a constitution. First of all, something that gathers people like this should have a constitution, which rules and regulations that govern everything about it. And even the ones they've not captured, they should just keep on progressively adding it up as they face challenges, right? But what matters most is the structure that already envisages all these various problems. We're all Nigerians. We know the basic issues that we can easily have. Another one, again, is also religion, which is somebody saying that why are they giving a Muslim this thing, or why are Muslims too much in this particular department, or this or that, or why are they Christians here? So these are some of the negative problems that will definitely arise from the youth house, and it can be curtailed from the very onset if proper structures are put in place.
Let's come back to business, okay? As a young entrepreneur, I've known you for a while, someone that has, built his business from the scratch and to what it is today. Let's look at your expertise, right? As a successful entrepreneur, kindly share your goals, both your long and short-term goals. How would you guide Maimuna, for instance, that would want to go into business as a starter?
Okay. So I delved into, first of all, my industry that I chose, cleaning, is something that most people look down on in this part of the world.
Sure.
And I'd like to even first of all start by saying that I feel like the youth are too push for the economical situation we're in. Remember, if you look at our society today, you find out that it's the things that people neglect that are currently feeding nations, that are currently creating employment. So first of all, as a youth, if you want to delve into business, you need to be humble. First of all, humble yourself and open your mind to things you want to opportunities that are coming. Doing business doesn't necessarily need to be your passion. It's just something that just keeps you earning enough for you to now eventually go and pursue your passion. If you ask me what my passion is, I'll tell you that I just want to teach, read books, write poems. Yes. But first of all, I have to make money before I do this.
But don't you think passion still comes with owning a business? Because if you're saying that you don't necessarily need to be passionate about something before you venture into that thing as a business. For me, I feel, you won't handle that thing, you won't do it well because you have to
have some form of
passion.
So your passion can be money.
There.
Your passion can be making money.
Good. I like that.
Your passion
That's
can
a
be
good one.
Your passion can be making money. My story, for instance, I delved into cleaning, I delved into laundry because my parents needed a laundry service, not because I sat down and I had this master plan of how I'll be a laundry person. But I did it and he gave me my salary for a month. And I was like, amplify this. Now, the main reason I'm doing it itself is not even necessarily because of my love for cleaning. It's more about the people I can even raise. Like you asked me about my short-term and my long-term goals. And even getting more people to change this mindset of, I can't do this, I can't do that. And come into an industry that you can actually earn from because it's a necessity. I started this business, first of all, trying to earn. That was my short-term plan. I just wanted to earn as a young man that just finished law school. I just wanted to be able to have something to fend for myself. I didn't even know I was going to get married early and have, a responsibility upon myself. But I just knew that I wanted to earn more. But when I started doing the business and I started growing, and when I saw how I was able to impact people's lives around me, I saw what believing in myself could do. When I pay salaries, the various people, it's able to help. So from there, my short-term plan evolved into a medium plan, which is to build the cleaning industry itself, which is business. Build that business. It's an old, forgotten business. It's a business that people think is for dropouts or people that don't have job opportunities. But then I even recently found out that there are so many elderly people in this this country that are billionaires from cleaning. The thing is just that they are not on social media, so people don't know about them, seeing as I'm in that industry. So there are a lot of businesses that youth should look into. It's not everybody that needs to be a doctor. It's not everybody that needs to be a lawyer. You can even still be a lawyer or a doctor and still have something alongside whatever you're doing. My final long-term plan is to have an association that cuts across Africa, that brings various cleaners together and enables everybody to march forward, to even fight for our rights as cleaning practitioners, to find ways to use the best, to use materials that are in line with the global best practices, so that we are not harming our clients. We're more of helping them and spreading happiness through our services. Just generally trying to find a way to upscale. So when I retire, it will be written somewhere that Yaz was the one that helped the cleaning industry to get to where it is.
I think we should find a department for you in the youth.
Yes, so if they call me, if they call me.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. So everyone, let's go on a short break. We'll be back soon.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa. Still in the studio having a conversation on the very good initiative by President Bola Tinubu's administration, creating a youth house for the Nigerian youth. It's an urgent issue that we really need to discuss. And I'm having this discussion with me, in continuation. Yakubu Mohammed Yazid is still with me, the CEO of Yaz Laundry and Cleaning Services Limited. So back to our focus, which is the federal government Youth House Initiative, which, we've been speaking about. Yes. So do you think now, I have this very good question for you, and I want you to be direct. Do you think that the creation of this youth house by the Tinubu administration is, really looking at the issues facing the youths in the country and, bringing a solution to most of the challenges that they are facing? Yes. Or do you think there's another way for them to, maybe possibly earn their trust for the second term? What do you think about that?
I believe that is both of them, both of the things you're saying. Okay. It can actually help the youth if it's something that the people that are put in charge of it, that's the Minister of State and the people that are at the top of the hierarchy of that initiative, putting their backs into it and make sure that there's a certain level of dedication put into delivering the activities, right? It should be youth-centric, which is everybody should have a voice. Yes. Everybody should be able to speak openly and should be able to just share their thoughts, right? If youth have a platform like that, what has bedeviled the youth of Nigeria currently is lack of employment. If you can address first employment issues, and I'm not talking about promising you that they will have jobs in ministries or agencies, what can the youth do for themselves? If you even look at our population itself, the agencies cannot even employ the youth that are being churned out. They are being churned out every year from universities, from law school, from medical school, from various practices. So the next step should be skill acquisition. The one I feel like it should even be, youth house should be an acronym, should be synonymous to skill acquisition center. That's even the first, it should be synonymous to skill acquisition center, which is a place where when you come with a skill, you have the right mindset to be empowered. You benefit from there. Because if one youth benefits, I believe that a family benefits. Of course. If one person no longer has to go around to pick for scraps or to be hungry, there are so many other people that benefit from there. So let's say in the first year, thousands of youths can benefit from the initiative. It helps. And if it's also the other case, which is to help the next election, if the youth are happy, if everybody's happy with an administration, if an administration has helped me to be able to balance my finances, has enabled me to be able to cater for my family and cater for my own needs and have hopes of going better, I wouldn't want that administration to be changed because I don't know what the next person is coming with. As long as it's constitutional for the president to be able to come for another term, I will still vote for him. I will vote for him. If I voted for him the first time, I will vote for him to come back second term if as a youth have benefited from that administration.
Okay, being that we're going to have this youth house centers in most of the states, do you think every youth would really benefit? Because I'm more particular about people from the grassroots.
I'm scared about nepotism. Okay. That's my fear again. We know we spoke about some of the challenges that we'll face in this. We spoke about the challenges that the people that are coming on board would
also encounter.
But now, let's talk about the challenges that the people that are in charge of the decision making might also bring on board to the youth house. Somebody might tell you that, okay, my brother has been looking for an opportunity to this. I give you slot. There's a slot thing that goes on in this country.
And then at the end of the day, the aim has been defeated.
Yes, because it's still people that are already sort of even had that are still getting more opportunities. Now, yes, now the grassroots, that's why I said there should be a constitution and a structure of onboarding. A constitution and a structure of onboarding, which is an onboarding process that allows it for anyone to be able to go on board. Just the same way JAMB is. Anybody can write JAMB as long as you've passed through your secondary school education. Now, the people that get the best JAMB students is not dictated by anyone. It's based on the work of your hands that you get the best JAMB student or whatnot, something like that. So if people are going to be picked for something, there should be a process. Not that because I know you, I'll put you there. When you get whatever you're supposed to collect, make sure that you come back and do something for me. That is one of the biggest problems we've had in this country, and that way we'll be recycling people that are not up to par, that are not even up to par to deliver. So at the end of the day, resources that have been delegated to use for empowerment are being given to people that don't even have any idea of what they are doing with those resources. So at the end of the day, it's wasted effort that ends up entering belly infrastructure of someone. So nepotism could also be a major issue that would face in the course of this initiative, in the course of executing this initiative.
So I'm going to pick from, there's this initial statement you made about money, people, and all of that, because it's going to guide me into the next question and, getting your expertise. Being that you have been in business for a good number of years, you made mention that over time you have realized that money don't give you money,
yes,
right?
People
give you money. So now let's look at building healthy relationship, which a lot of people are found wanting. A lot of people don't know, most especially in the business world. A lot of people,
especially the youth of our generation,
especially the youth of our generation.
Yes.
I'm going to speak on based on my encounter with the Gen Zs. I'm not a Gen Z, so I have met Gen Zs in business, and their ideology, their perspective about building relationships in business is something that they don't even have an idea.
It's close to nothing.
Very, very close to nothing. They just do it like, if you go buy, no buy now, it's not by force.
Yes.
And they don't even know the strategies to use, or rather the strategies to put in place to build this very good relationship. Because I like the fact that you were able to realize that people give you money.
Yes, people.
But people don't. Some people don't have that perspective.
But
so this brings me to my next question. So what steps should be considered in examining the right circle for personal growth and development, most especially for Nigerian youths that are either in business at the moment, aspiring to be in business, and anywhere around their life?
Okay, I feel like the first thing is, like my mother always tells me, especially when I was about to go to university, she always says, always try to remember where you're coming from and where you're going to. So I feel like for anybody that is in business currently, or anybody that's about to delve into business, you must first of all ask yourself, where am I? Where do I come from? Who are the people that are around me? Who are the people that are expecting me not to disappoint them, to let them down, right? And where do I want to be? So that way you want to be is like sort of like your why. So it drives you even when you even find yourself defaulting, when you find yourself in some mental situations, and when you find yourself not even giving your very best. These two things, very, very important. Okay. And it goes further now to dictate, the circle or the strategies that you deploy in delving into business or in your business. So for instance, if you're someone from the grassroots that wants to break that poverty circle and raise your family up. When you're building in business and somebody tells you, come and join this our gang, that will make people millionaires overnight, you wouldn't.
Of course.
Because you remember where you're coming from, and you know where you want to go to. We talk about business a lot, right, Ramona? But there are so many things that accompany it.
Yeah.
That there are so many laws that govern it,
Exactly.
spiritually self and even physically. A very good example self of this my generation is there are a lot of people that start making money and get carried away by lifestyle and women. That's for my own gender. So you've gained a certain level of fame, you've gained a certain level of finance. And the next thing now, you're now doing things that you never used to do before.
Yes, because money is freedom.
Yes, yes. So you start doing things you never used to do before. You start doing things that, you start wanting to hang out with some certain persons. So that thing now makes you to do some certain things. You still need to remember where you're coming from. I remember when I had to always, one of the things that even actually made me start business. I've never even actually shared this before. But it's actually because whenever I send my dad list for money for things for school, he would always cut it. So let's say I send 50,000 naira, he will reduce it to 10,000 naira. What are you doing with all of this?
Yes, he didn't want you to have enough money.
Yes, but do you know what that did to me? It made me realize that, it made me think to myself that, yes, is this how you would keep on depending on someone? Even though he's your father, yes, and he's supposed to take care of you. And if you depend on someone, the person might disappoint you or not disappoint you. And you're at the mercy of that person if you've not acquired any skill of your own to be able to use to fend for yourself. So that's what even made me to now even start pushing. So in my own case now, when I remember days where I had to only wait for whatever daddy or mommy would give me, and I see where I'm going, I take people very seriously because I know that if I don't take this person seriously that's giving me money in my business, I will lose money. So it's just you basically just understanding where you're coming from and where you want to go to. It's simple. It's a simple law. If it guides you, it makes you to not be part of. There are some offers, Memuna, I turn down. Make money quick offers. Oh yes, I know you run the cleaning business. Quickly come to here. The way it comes,
you just know
pull out. Because you need to understand how your spirit even works. There are some of us that there's a pattern that we follow normally to make money, and if you try to not follow, if you don't follow that particular pattern, you suffer the repercussions of it. There's a heavy level of spirituality that governs business. It's beyond even the physical realm. But I don't want to, if I want to start delving into this now, we'll not finish. But just remember where you're coming from and where you want to go to. I feel like a lot of people start off well as they are going, and it's not easy. That's where even God now comes in. The most disciplined of us, the most dedicated of us, as we're growing, there are various temptations. There are various challenges. You must be prayerful. You must have faith. You must believe in something that is bigger than you to take you forward. I know that we keep on saying that prayer is not the answer anymore in Nigeria. I know you say that we pray a lot. We pray a lot, what. But the most important thing is to still pray and back it up with work. So know where you're coming from and where you're headed to. It guides your circle. It guides every step that you take in business. When you see those people that naked themselves on social media, right? All those people on Instagram that twerk on social media and whatnot. The main reason why they're doing that is simply because they've forgotten where they're coming from. Because if they remember that, oh, I have a mom, I have a dad, or even if I'm an orphan, but I have relations that I'm also representing as I'm doing this, they don't care.
Even if you don't have anybody,
yes,
your own
self. Thank you. Your self-image. Yes,
yes,
first of all. Yes. So once you have that consciousness, there are so many things that you would not do, and you make sure that you walk along the path. And also, when you see that you are no longer putting in the level of effort, I wake up sometimes and I'm like, I have to cater for my kid. I have to cater for my wife. Even though I'm doing well, yes, you have to even have foresight. Because something can come tomorrow and take all you have today. So what are the next steps that you need to take? You have to walk as if you don't even have. So that's the way I'm going to.
Thank you so much for that. Very good, inspirational perspective of yours. So still back to our focus, which is on the federal government youth house initiative. How do you think that the Nigerian youth can take advantage of this initiative?
I feel like let us participate. We complain too much. We're always on our phones, on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Participate. Let it be that you've actively participated and then did now work out for you. Not just that you're on your keyboard. Then the people now that are now mediocre are now the ones that will now be participating and now we probably turn it to something that is not supposed to be. Then That's when you now come and start typing. When you were not even physically present there, or even part of any of the initiatives that came up under the Youth House. So let us participate. Even me, myself, I would participate.
I need
Yes.
to see you there.
I will participate, engage. Let it be that we all come together to see. The government is trying to see ways that they can help us. Let us not just relax. I know that, yes, a lot of us have been disappointed over and over, but you can't keep on trying. You can't stop trying. Even in business, we fail, but we'll pick ourselves up and keep on going. So let's give it a try. Let's engage. Let's participate. Let's make sure that we're active there, and then let's see what the results will be.
Thank you very much for that. So quickly, before we go, we're way past time, but before we go, as an entrepreneur, as a Nigerian youth, what advice do you have for every Nigerian youth out there?
The advice I have is, let's look inwards. Let's go back and find that which our soul sincerely yearns for. Let's stop complaining. Let's start working. Yes, you might have meager resources if you're in the grassroots, but there's always an opportunity around us. I feel like the world has given, there's this saying that the best things in life are free, but we've caged ourselves in. So there's so many things that are around us that we can take advantage of. And rock bottom is still a place that you can still start from. It's still a place for you to start from. So let's look inwards first of all, and let's find ways that we can push forward with hopes and beliefs that your little efforts over a period of time will eventually bear fruit for you.
Thank you so much, Yakubu Mohammed Yazid, the CEO of Yaz Laundry and Cleaning Services Limited, and also the convener of Project Clean Abuja and the president of the Cleaners Network. I'm going to still drag you here again one of these days so we can have this very, insightful conversation. Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure. Thank you. You're welcome. So, viewer, on this note, we call it a wrap on the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa. Thank you so much for watching. You can watch this episode and subsequent episodes by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Housing TV Africa. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at Housing TV Africa. And do not forget to download the Housing TV mobile app to stay connected wherever you are. I am Mimuna Bagudu. Have a great day and bye for now.